Welcome to Single Serve in Excel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most used Excel function, the VLOOKUP. In this video, I'll be showing you the manual way to do a VLOOKUP since that's how power users do it. Our data set is a short list of members in your secret club. We have their member name, first name, last name, salary, and their status. Typically, data sets in the real world are much larger, and that's where VLOOKUPs really shine. And as always, this dataset is available for download. See the link in the description below. The VLOOKUP function, which stands for vertical lookup, searches from top to bottom and left to right. The value you are looking for is based on the lookup value and the column you specify. The VLOOKUP function uses the following syntax. The lookup value is a value that you want to look up in your dataset. Your dataset is called the table array. Column index num is the column of the table array that contains the value you want returned. You determine this by counting how many columns this is from the lookup value. Finally, range lookup is a logical parameter that you assign as either true or false. True tells the VLOOKUP function that you want an approximate match for the lookup value, and false tells the VLOOKUP function that you want an exact match for the lookup value. In the real world, you will always use false, so just remember to set the last parameter as false every time. The column that contains the lookup value is always column 1. In the first example, we are looking up by member number, which will be column 1. First name will be column 2, last name will be column 3, and so on. It's very important that the lookup value column is always the leftmost column in your table array. Remember, VLOOKUP works from top to bottom, left to right. So enough talking, let's work through the examples. Let's say you get handed a list of 5 members and you need to do a VLOOKUP on the last name, salary, and status. We'll start by the first column and do equal VLOOKUP, open parentheses, and remember the first parameter is lookup value. We are going to look up 129973, comma, the table array is your data set. It's good practice to highlight columns A through E instead of just highlighting A1 through E12. Always assume that your data is going to grow. By highlighting the entire column, you guarantee that any new data will be picked up by the VLOOKUP function. The next parameter is column index num. Since last name is column number 1, 2, 3, we want to put 3 for this parameter. Hit comma, and the last parameter, remember as we said before, is always false to return the exact match. Close the parentheses, hit enter. And now you see for 129973, the VLOOKUP returned Durden, which is the last name for that member. Let's return the value in the salary column. Equal VLOOKUP, open parentheses, the lookup value, comma, the table array, remember highlight all the columns, A through E, comma, column index, so salary is column number 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, and remember false to return the exact match. Let's do the final column, which is status, equal VLOOKUP, open parentheses, the lookup value 129973, table array columns A through E, comma, and the index number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma, and false to return the exact match. We can now highlight all our VLOOKUP equations and drag it down for the rest of the member numbers. Notice that 117963 has pound and A's. That means this member number is not in the dataset, therefore VLOOKUP had nothing to return. Now let's work the second example. In this example, we're going to VLOOKUP based on the last name, whereas in the first example, we VLOOKUP based on the member number. So let's click on cell H10 and do equal VLOOKUP, open parentheses, our lookup value, which is Durden, comma, the table array. This time you want to start with column C and highlight through column E. The reason we're doing this is because our lookup value is last name. And remember, the lookup value must always be the first column or the leftmost column in your table array. Comma, column index number is column 1 since it is the first column. So enter 1 for column index number, comma, and remember, range lookup is always false because we want to return the exact match. Close parenthesis, enter. And the VLOOKUP returned Durden for the lookup value Durden. Now let's do the salary. Equal VLOOKUP, open parentheses, our lookup value Durden. Remember, for table array, the first column must be the value of the lookup parameter. So we're going to highlight column C through E, comma, salary is column number 1, 2, comma, and false for the exact match. Finally, let's do status. Equal VLOOKUP, the lookup value Durden, comma, table array, column C through E, comma, we want to return column number 1, 2, 3, comma, and false to return the exact match. And now we did a VLOOKUP based on the last name as the lookup value. Let's discuss some of the finer details of a VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP always returns the first match it finds, so if you had 2 people with the same member number, VLOOKUP will only return the first instance of that member number. So let's say 2 members had the exact same member number as Tyler Durden. You'll see in the first example that we worked, 129973 now returns monkey6 salary 1 active, which is the first instance of 129973 in the table array. The second finer detail of VLOOKUP is that VLOOKUP is case insensitive. In our second example, if Durden was in all caps, VLOOKUP ignores the case of the letters and still returns Durden. So in example 2, if our lookup value was DURDEN in all caps, the VLOOKUP still returns last name, salary, and status, as if the data matches the data in our table array. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, leave a comment in the section below. Also, like and subscribe and click the bell icon for updates on new videos.